Hey there, welcome to Createful Art. I'm going to show you how to paint flowers with acrylics. Let's get started. So I'm just going to be painting on watercolor paper today. This is 140 pounds or heavier is what I recommend. I have links to the supplies that I'm using in the description. And then I have water, I have my Stay Wet palette here, and I have my paper towels. Now I'm going to be working with some colors. This is my color chart here. If you want to get this lesson, go ahead and click right over here, I believe, and you get 5 free art lessons that shows you how to make a color chart, and all of these colors come with a set. Now I'm going to put a flower right here because there's a gap right there. I'm going to make purple pink color with my magenta and my dioxazine. So something happened while I was videoing the coneflower, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again, and I'm grabbing my 5 brush that's round, and I'm just going to dip it into some water. So I've got my round brush here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the tip and I'm going to come towards that dot right there. So just kind of tip, not a lot of pressure, putting more pressure, more pressure, more pressure, and then come in. Now when I start on this side, I'm going to start at the tip again. I'm going to go down a little bit, curve up, put pressure on the brush, grab a little water here, more paint. Okay, put pressure on the brush, and then come in. So the more pressure, the thicker it's going to be. So I'm going to make this side be a little bit thicker and then come into the middle right here. And then I just give it some more petals, so just follow along at the tip, come in to that center area, push, 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 and then I'm twisting to curve it around. And it's nice to have some layers, so I'm going to go underneath this one right here and push, just come right into that one, because I'll put in the shadows later. Grab some more color. This one's going to be a little thicker, so light, light, light on my brush, and I want it to be thicker, so I'm pushing on my brush and then coming in. And I can do it a couple times in a little bit of different spots to make it thicker too. So a little light, 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 and then a little over and make it thick and then come in. So I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker, doing the same thing. Pressure and then come over to that spot. Right, and then I'm going to lighten it up a little bit with some white and have a little one right here come in. Now you're wanting to add some dimension into it. Okay, and this is a good time to do that because it can still blend with the colors beneath it as long as it's wet. So I'm adding some white, and the white's going to make it opaque, so it's going to be less transparent. And I'm getting the tips of this. So I'm starting at the tip with the light, and I'm going to see if it's light enough. I want it to even be lighter, so I add more white. Come back in. It's important to follow that tip and then come on the top. That tip and then come on the top. This just adds a little dimension. This one, actually do the one that's over it first, so, or under it first I mean, and then come over it with that one. Start at the tip, come in, and then just pull. So you want to have that light or that darker color there. You just want to see some of the lighter on top. Okay, and then the dimension comes in with the dark blue. So I add just a little bit of purple with my dark blue, and this will give a darker value, but still that purple makes it so that it looks like it belongs. And I'm going to come in right under here like that, and then just a few little lines, hardly any pressure, right there in the center. You're just kind of adding some shadow areas. So the shadow area would be down underneath this petal to define that, and then along this edge right here. And then I'll add a little bit right here and some right in here, coming in, curved line, some right here. On the side. So those lines in the flower, they just make it look more like a petal. Okay, so this center part right here, it's sticking up and it needs to have some shadow area. So I'm going to come around here, and instead of doing like a one little round right here, I'm just going to come in here with some dots and build. So I'm copying the texture more. And then if I need to, I can grab some more of that purple, bring it in there. Right? And then I'm going to make some little loopies. Building up the sides and the shadow area. So I'm going round, round, round with my brush. And adding a little bit right here. Now while this is drying, I'm going to work on this because this will need another little layer too. So just so you know, that's what's going to happen. So we're letting this dry. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab my yellow, just my straight yellow, and add in some area. It's the yellow. And notice you can see the purple behind it. So don't mix those purples together. And do the dots, the dabbing. And now I'm going to grab my orange, just straight orange, and I'm going to add it in here and do some circling. Define the top a little bit. And some of this edge. Add some down here in the purple. Okay, and then if I need to, I can always add a little of the purple color on top, because it's been gone over with the yellow, and that's okay, but maybe we want a little more shadow. Just depends on how yours is looking. Now this should be dry. Now we're going to go and mix our white with some more of this color. I'm going to do a little bit more on the pink side. And layering is really important in acrylics. That's what makes it different than watercolor. Okay, now I'm going to start on those tips again and see if there's enough difference here. There is, so then I'm going to pull that up, and then on the other side pull that up. Add a little bit more white. Come down here on this tip. And pull up. And I can always soften it, blend it in. See how that adds some more dimension. I'm going to go along this edge right here and go along this edge. And go along this edge. And I really like that darker purple right here, so I don't want to get rid of that. I like how it's pretty. And I'm going to thicken that one right there. Make it come to this other one. like that. So just adding one more little layer. And then you can always make any changes you want. I'm just going to use this same brush for the stem, dabbing into my green and this darker green and finding a nice color here. I'll probably grab some yellow too eventually. So I'm just going to make the stem come out this side and then curve around. So I'm going to meet this area right here. So if I were to use my flat brush, this line would be pretty much the same width. These brushes give you a very inconsistent line, so from small to thick depending on your pressure, right? So when you're choosing your brush, just know that. I knew that, so I knew I was going to have to come in here and kind of fix some things. Now I'm just going to grab my yellow, mix it in with my green a little bit here, and I'm going to make this leaf come to this point, but it's going to have a little curve in it, so I'm very lightly putting on pressure and then curving around, putting pressure on my brush for a thick area, and then coming to this point. So I can come back here and put more pressure and just be over on the side a little bit more and then come to that point with some more paint. And then I'm going to go up a little bit, and this time I'm just going to go to the side here. So I'm going to push down right here, come up, get some more color on my brush, and lift to the side. Now I can grab my yellow and add some layers in there, some different colors. I can tone down the green if I want with some bronze. I can darken the stem if I want down here at the bottom with some black. So I just want to show you right here that this was my previous coneflower that I recorded, and then this one is the other one. So look at how different they are, even though I use this as a reference. So when you're copying, just remember that your flower will not be exactly the same, and that's okay. It's great. Okay, so let's move on to the next flower. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you had fun and I hope you learned a lot. Don't forget to check out the other videos so you can paint more flowers along with me. And if you want to get the reference photos and weekly art lessons, go ahead and sign up to become a Create Flow Art member, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!